Hey guys, what we're going to do today is take a look at tour some of the neighborhoods that are in town in Flagstaff that have been affected by the flooding. So a lot of these this is all it's new to everyone here, all these areas that are flooding in neighborhoods. So we're going to take you through Grandview. I got affected by the museum fire, and then we're going to go over to Coconino Estates and check out kind of what that neighborhood looks like and how it's been affected by the floods. So stay tuned, we're going to get into it right now. What's up, everybody? This is Jason with the Shafor real estate team here in Flagstaff, Arizona. And if this is your first time on the channel living in Flagstaff and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, living, playing right here in Flagstaff, then make sure you tap that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time we do a new video. And honestly, we get people reaching out to us on a daily basis who are thinking about relocating and moving here to Flagstaff, and we absolutely love it. So make sure you guys give us a call, shoot us a text, email us, pigeon carrier, whatever it takes. We love hearing from you, and we want you to know that we got your back when it comes to moving right here in Flagstaff. So today we're going to get into the video here. I'm out here in Grandview in the center of Flagstaff, and I'm just going to show you guys and tour this neighborhood a little bit, show you what it's like since the flooding started a year ago. And I'm actually right here at kind of ground zero. What started it all was right here, this street right here behind me is Linda Vista. It's a busy street, but I'm going to turn the camera the other way. You can see this drainage right here. Actually, the fire happened way up on the mountain over here. I shouldn't say way up there, but as the water came down, it brought down a bunch of debris, and a lot of it got caught right here, and the water came up and over. And instead of going down that drainage ditch, it actually ended up in the street, and you can see there's barricades, and we'll kind of take a little walk down the street here so you guys can all see this. But the street right here, Grandview, got affected the worst. We'll take a little drive down there in a second, and I can definitely show you guys what's going on, but you can see all these homes. This one right here, I feel bad for these people. The whole house, they've got barricades that are 8 feet tall and double concrete barriers right there. But that street right there, Grandview, actually runs right behind the Safeway here on Cedar, right in the center of town. And we'll take a drive down there right now, and I'll show you guys what it looks like right here. So now keep in mind, not every home in here has been affected not every home in this neighborhood has been affected by the flooding. So you want to, I live actually one street over from this flooding, and when I was going to buy my house last year, I had non-refundable earnest money on it, and I was buying the house in August, and all these floods were happening right as I was in escrow on that house. I drove by it, they was flooding all through here. Turns out it was actually okay, because when none of the water actually went down the wash that we talked about right here that goes behind my house, and it's actually okay. We have had zero flooding issues last year and this year, and I actually love the neighborhood. I'm going to be turning into a rental. That's for a whole nother story, but it's a great neighborhood, great area. You just got to be aware of some of the streets and houses in here when you're coming out. So let's go down Grandview. Let's go take a look at what some of these homes look like and the streets. All right, guys, we're gonna take a look at this right here. These barricades. It's crazy. So we're just this is right here coming down Grandview, and this is what the street looks like right here. So you got a lot of barricades. A lot of water was coming down the street. You can kind of see what's going on here. It's pretty crazy. I do feel for these folks. This was not good. They've got flash flooding. A lot of this stuff, the city's working on the drainages as we speak. They're constantly improving it, so hopefully we can get these sandbags down. They're still doing studies on it, but thank God this year it hasn't been bad at all. But this has been the most heavily affected street in the city limits. We'll talk about Donny Park. That's kind of for a whole nother video because it's such a large area of what's going on out there. But this area has been greatly affected. I can show you guys on the map. I'll throw that up on the screen for you, kind of show you exactly where this is located in town, so you kind of be aware of it. If you follow that Coconino, the floodplain map, it's going to show you guys a lot of exactly where this location's at. So if you're thinking about moving here, renting, buying, just a neighborhood, something you want to be aware. Now across the street, Sunnyside, a lot of this water came right in through there. So a lot of those streets, it's more on a grid, so there's sandbags all up and down it. This is Cedar Avenue right here. The new school they actually remodeled. They actually put a giant retention pond. They dug it down an extra 6 feet to carry all this water that's in here. So it's good stuff. Now I'm going to take a little tour with you guys. We're going to go over to the new flooding. I've actually never been there because it just happened in the last week. So it's right by our office downtown, just north on Highway 180. So we're going to go and take a look right now and kind of see what that neighborhood looks like and see what kind of damage is done and what they're doing to prevent any more flooding. Alright guys, we're up on 180 now. This is my first time out here since the flooding has just happened in the last 10 days or so, but you can see we got some sandbags over here on this person's property. I'm going to drive up the road a little bit and see what kind of damage happened during this last monsoon that we had. And you can see check out the mountain now. The clouds are starting to build up today. When you wake up in the morning in Flagstaff and you see that, there's a good chance it's going to be raining somewhere, and you can feel the humidity that's going on. So, you can see a little bit of damage there. A lot of debris that got flooded down the road right there. I know this secret school that's up here did get flooded also. There was images of over a foot of water in the front of that. Still see some standing water over here. This is Coconino Estates, which is massively affected by it. Oh yeah, you can see a lot of damage right in here. You can see a lot of that sandbags and flooding right here along this sidewalk. This thing looks like it was completely underwater. Same over here. Nothing right here. It's kind of good. This is good. Hey, we're covering another topic here, and that is just how bad traffic can be in Flagstaff. So this is 180. If you're ever thinking about making a move out here, which is a great area, always know that right here on Highway 180 in front of the school in the mornings for about an hour, it can be very slow and go through here. I've seen in the wintertime, it can be super, super backed up. You can see a lot of water. I mean, it's still muddy right here if you're checking out on the side of the road here, but it looks like there was a ton of water that was coming down this road over on this side. You can see it way up on the bank over here. You can see a lot of sandbags here. Now, I know not all Coconino Estates got flooded. I currently have a house for sale in the area, and it was not affected by it. But you can see, the water line on some of these sandbags. This area is greatly affected. A lot of people on this lower end of it. It's kind of a shame to see what's happened here. But it looks like they did get the sandbags out in front of the school. Did some restoration to get the school opened on time. School just started this week. It's August 12th, so I think they believe they started on Wednesday. So that's good stuff. Glad to see it's open. This is a great elementary school. It's a public school located off of Highway 180. They still have the sandbags up here too. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be up all year round. Once they're up, they usually keep them up even through the winter and then bolster them back up before next monsoon season, but they'll stay there because we're still got a long ways to go before this monsoon season's over. But you can see just in the parking lot all the dirt and debris that's still in there. It's pretty crazy to see all this out here. I mean, this was never in the floodplain. It's just the water got diverted with the new burn. It just diverts the water different places. So This is from the recent pipeline fire that was up. This was from the fire in June that just happened. I mean, you can see they were doing construction in here as it is, but yeah, wow. Kind of crazy. Take a turn in here and check out the neighborhood a little bit, see how this was affected. Yeah, you can see the sandbags. You can see the street is still dirty on this side. Oop. Again, traffic. Tons of cars on 180 in the morning. Something you want to consider if you're looking out on this area, but it has its advantages as its proximity to Snowbowl and downtown. It's really, really hard to beat, there's no doubt. Oh yeah, so all these sandbags, this is all new. I mean, I'm feeling for these folks in here, but you can see the water. It came up, I mean, look at all the water in this neighborhood that got affected by the flooding. It's pretty sad to see all this, but this is just the reality of what's going on. Big drainage district right there. Wow, a lot of mud came down that mountain. So they're going to be working hard, I know, to fix all this. But it doesn't happen overnight. This kind of stuff takes time. They got to get engineers out. They got to do studies. They got to do it all. So it takes a little bit of time. So this is a giant drainage ditch. This is actually the Rio de Flag that comes down the mountain. But none of that got, the water never made it there from the fire. So I'm sure they're going to be doing that. So those are just a couple of, these are the two main areas in town that have been affected by fires recently in Flagstaff. You know, we've got Coconino Estates, you've got Grandview, Sunnyside. So areas to be cautious of when moving to. I'll kick a link in the bio or in the description so you guys can go and check out the floodplain, so you can kind of research areas if you're thinking about making a move, either living, renting, or buying here. Just things you want to consider. You're going to need, you know, a lot of these folks didn't have flood insurance because they weren't in a floodplain. So a lot of this damage we see these properties, especially if it wasn't affected the house, but maybe took out landscaping fence in the yard, it's not going to cover. It's only going to cover the structure. Even if you did have flood insurance, it's not going to cover a lot of the yard damage. So just a lot of stuff to consider when you're making a move here. So I hope this video was informational. I'll do a whole nother video on the flooding that actually happened out on Highway 89 and Doney Park and everything out there, because it's a much larger area and a lot of other stuff going on out that way with the fires and stuff. So thanks, guys.